Good afternoon, happy Savage Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and we're here with Savage Saturday Comic Review, episode 124. Just cruising right along, and today, as I like to do, you guys know that I like to bring odd stories to you. Stories that you guys may have never heard of or experienced before, that I've run across in my travels, and my seeking, and my hunting. Today is no different. This is from Eclipse Comics, number 1. It says, the title is Killer, Tales by Timothy Truman. Now, we're only going to concern ourselves with the first tale in this one today, and we're going to have a bit of fun. It's not a long tale, but it's definitely sword and sorcery genre, and it's definitely savage, and we're going to enjoy this. And hopefully what I'm going to do is bring a tale to you that you have not had access to, you haven't heard it before, and we're going to read it, and we're going to enjoy it. And of course, I will put the stuff over here for you when the time comes. And our page starts with Daryl. I don't know if it's pronounced differently, but for this reading, I'm just going to call him Daryl because it's easy. All right, so it says Daryl of Godwayne. Copyright 1984 by Gardner F. Fox, the author, and Timothy W. Truman, the artist. All right, and I'm not sure if Timothy Truman helped plot this or not. That I can't answer. But we saw that splash page, and we're going to turn to our first page. And it says, Daryl 1, The Saving of Soraya. And this says 1982, Fox and Truman. So you can see that this story was written in 82, published in 84. And we're going to get to our text right away, and it says, in the days before Atlantis, the vast continent of Gondwana stretched across half the earth. It was a land haunted by demons and strange gods. A land where magicians could work their magic. A land where brave swordsmen and beautiful women lived. This was the world of Daryl. Towering over the Cimmerian plains, shadowed by the Mauritian mountains, rises the tower of the wizard, Lord Cordonor. And he's in this tower and he's screaming out, Sierra, my daughter, prey of that evil enchantress Elva, she who seeks to control me and all of Gondwana by her wicked magics. 3 men have I sent to rescue you. All are dead. One hope I have, one hope alone. For somewhere, close to the great forest of Zandamore, Daryl hunts. We get our first page right there. Give you guys a good look at it. And we'll move on. It says, to Daryl then, I send my messenger. I pray he will obey my summons. And you see this little bat-like creature leaving his hands. And it goes outward across the plains, the marshes and the wetlands, hurdles Cordonor's semi-sentient servant, until at the edge of the wooded hunting lands, this bat-like creature comes across Daryl, who's riding on this weird bird-like steed. And he says, warrior, heed my plea. And Daryl's like, hey, what's this? And the creature continues. It says, my master Cordonor has need of you. His only daughter dies unless you can save her. And Daryl says, I have heard of this Soraya. She is fair, they say. Lead me, little one. Daryl rides. And off him and his steed go. And our next little descriptive text says, but unknown to the warrior, Cold Eyes watches progress. And we cut to this sorceress, and it says, ha, another foolish rider for Cordonor. I shall summon up Zalth from the depths of Quothum to destroy him. And we'll give you a quick look at that. So, good art, really good art by Timothy Truman. I mean, there's no surprise there. Timothy Truman's great. Next page, we have this monster rising out of the marshes that was created by Alpha. And he's coming upon this creature with a steed, and he says, great Tor. The creature that is summoning Daryl says, Alpha's Leviathan. And it says, as Daryl races along the narrow pathways of the fenlands, and then you see him get clocked from this creature, knocked off his horse, and it says, even Ravensbrand cannot penetrate its scales. And he has drawn his sword, and the sword is having no effect on the scaly exterior of this creature. And this creature makes a roar. Daryl collapses, and he says, great Tor, guide my steel. and he's going for the soft underbelly of the creature. And it says, return to the hells from which you came, dead. And it says, delve deep into the soft underbelly of the hellish colossus. Daryl drives the cold, hard steel of Ravensbrand. And you get a death rattle from the creature, and you get a close-up of Daryl's eyes with blood on the surface. It says, gods, that was close. Then it says, mounting Azal, and that's his mount. Daryl rides on through the fens and onto the plain of Salmaro, and until he sights the dark stone tower of Cordona. And you can see the wizard watching Daryl's approach. He goes, Daryl, you have come, my thanks. And Daryl screams out, we might fight a strong enemy. May Olden have us in his care. So Olden is their god. It says, inside his tower, the magician explains, behold my Sayera, held prisoner by the witch Elpha. She will die, a sacrifice to the sea god Skatha, unless we save her. And he's showing Daryl his daughter in the looking glass in the globe. And Daryl says, she is too fair to perish to such evil. I will help. Good thing she's not ugly, I guess, right? Who knows? Who knows what they were thinking? So it says, meanwhile, on a lonely mountaintop, Elpha the evil whispers unholy prayers. Gods of the ancient sorceries, demons of the underworld, heed my prayers. Give me your wisdom. Teach me how to destroy this warrior called Daryl. All right. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the art. The story is extremely fast-paced. They're telling this in a few pages. So there's not a lot of lingering going on in the tale. It's just a fun, wispy sword and sorcery tale on an afternoon when you want a little filler. All right, and then we go to our next page, and you see this creature, God, looking down on the sorcerers, and it says, in answer to the pleas of the unholy Elpha, voices whisper of deadly menaces and malignant dangers. And she's screaming up to the sky. She's like, yes, it is death. Seek. Yes, it is his death. I seek. Guide me, counsel me. And it says, Elpha hears their awesome suggestions. Triumph swells in her wicked heart. Yes, death from the sky, death from the ground. My thanks, thou gods of airy space. And it says, even as those phantasmal voices speak, Daryl is racing across the moors. And he's yelling at his steed to kind of motivate it. He's like, faster, Azal. Elpha has loosed the sea serpent Skatha and races for Sayera, even as we speak. But Skatha brings death as we bring life. And then we go back to descriptive text, and it says, suddenly the skies darken, and Daryl hurtles into death from the sky. A lightning bolt crashes down, hits Daryl in his steed, and Azal goes down, and Daryl senses his doom. All right, so his steed is now dead. It says, poor Azal, the very heavens conspire against us. Against them, my blade is useless, unless... And it says, Daryl tears loose Azal's chain halter. Attaching the halter to Ravensbrand and plunging the sword into the ground, he tosses the chain high. And you see the lightning strike the chain and charge the sword. He says, gotta hurry, Skatha will be close to Sayera by this time. And snow, and then it starts snowing. He goes, snow, more of Elpha's deviltry. And at last, Daryl stands at the top of a rocky tor, staring across a vast snowscape. He goes, I can never pass this snow. It fills the valley. I'd sink out of sight. But perhaps there is a chance. And we see all that action that just transpired. You see him thinking of a way to get across the snow. You see his poor steed getting killed by the lightning. Then, as we turn the page, you see Daryl racing across the snow using his shield as a sled. And it says, Daryl drops his shield downward over the snowy slopes. He races faster and faster, the wind freezing on his face, snow crystals stinging his flesh. Ha! I haven't gone sledding in years. As the shield scrapes to a halt, the swordsman hurtles toward the tunnel's mouth. He goes, Olden, Allfather grant that I be on time. And it says, until... And Skatha has just arrived, and you see all these tentacles going around the magician's daughter, and the creature's about to eat her. But it says, his long hunting lance in his hands, Daryl charges at full speed. The lance point stabs into the rocky ground, and Daryl rises upward higher and higher until he reaches the chain that holds the sea god's sword, the catalyst for the sacrifice, and the focus of Alpha's powers on this plane. And he grabs this mighty sword and says, in one mighty blow sends the eldritch blade through the sea god's brain. And you see the creature sink below and die as his tentacles release the woman. And it says, my thanks, warrior. I thought there was no hope. How did you find me? And Daryl says, save your breath, Sierra. Use it for the journey home to freedom. It goes, Gonwain, a land haunted by demons and strange gods, where magicians could work their magic, and brave swordsmen and beautiful women lived and loved. And we get our final 2 pages here. Again, with great art. And that concludes our tale. And again, nothing groundbreaking, nothing that's going to change the genre or challenge it. Just a nice sword and sorcery tale, a little short tale, something fun to while away the minutes in a day. It's a fun read. I've now read this, I think, 3 or 4 times. Again, not spectacular, but the art is phenomenal and the story's fun enough. And if you're just looking for a light, breezy read with swords, sorcery, creatures, and magic, this will fit the bill and will fill the time for you splendidly. But that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this tale. And if you've never seen or heard of this before, let me know in the comments below. I do really try hard to bring you guys things you may not have ever seen from time to time, because I'd hate to see anything get lost in time and for it to go unnoticed, unread, and underappreciated in whatever context it shall hold with anyone that experiences it. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code KEEPITCASUAL for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.